for the New York Jets. Those two tackles, Dwayne Brown and Mekhi Becton, coming off of surgeries. Mekhi Becton's been in and out of camp with his knee, still getting back to 100%. Hopefully he is, but two guys, neither of whom want to play right tackle. Interior of the line, you have Elijah Vera Tucker, their best lineman, coming off of surgery himself. I think this is a major blinking point. This is the check engine light for the Jets in their Super Bowl hopes. If they can keep the engine going, they'll be fine.
Yeah, but we all have driven with the check engine light on. We've been straight. Like, we've gotten to our destination.
Sometimes it works out, and sometimes
our car is not 39 years old, though.
Yeah, sometimes you're on the side of the road begging for someone to come and help you. So I get that part of it. And again, I believe the answer to this problem, the solution, has been offered by the most significant source in all of sports, and that is the rear end of Aaron Rodgers. I once again will call your attention to his Instagram post of yesterday, where he seems to be shouting out his receivers. But if you touch his butt, you see that he actually tags David Bakhtiari, his old offensive tackle, his old buddy from Green Bay. Kmart, I'm begging you to tell me that the Jets, this is Rodgers saying he wants Bakhtiari. There's no question. What does Bakhtiari do? He protects his backside, right? That's what the guy's job is. That's Rodgers telling the world he wants it. Please tell me they can do this.
Yeah, they're going to try. If here's the thing, my question, though, is the flip side. If you're the Packers, do you want to give the Jets and Aaron Rodgers Bakhtiari? Do you want to do because the better they play, the worse your pick gets. You know what I'm saying? So
the more snaps Rodgers plays, the better the pick becomes that Green Bay gets.
Right. So why would you want to help? I guess my point is, why would you even want to send a really good player to your old player?
Because he's expensive.
He's expensive.
Fair, but right now is not. You're going to move him now?
They have Jordan Love not making that much money this year.
I just don't see how it makes sense for the Jets. I understand it, but from the Packers,
Bart, tell me we can do this.
Why would they do that?
Because I'm not convinced that the players that the Jets have in camp, the players that are currently receiving a check from the New York Jets, are good enough to get them where they want to go on that offensive line.
Well, I push back as far as the offensive line is as bad as people are portraying them to be. Remember, they're playing without Dwayne Brown, which I think we should give some of the consideration of Andre Whitworth, who played well into his 41 years old, won a Super Bowl. Dwayne Brown, if you look at his resume, is actually more decorated than that.
Yes.
Vera Tucker, yes, he was injured, but it was a tricep. It's not a lower extremity, so those heal and those don't become problems. But, to your point, I think you should try and pursue, David Bakhtiari. And you ask, why would the Green Bay Packers want to do that? Well, because the more snaps that Aaron Rodgers plays, and the better the Jets do, the better that pick goes. So they can get a first-round draft pick, so that gives them 2 first-round draft picks, and then possibly they can ask the Jets for a second-round draft pick. Understand, Aaron Rodgers gave back $35 million, not because he was being a nice guy. It's because he wanted to have the ability, like Tom Brady, to go out and pick some of the groceries. And if he already said he wanted Dalvin Cook as one of the groceries, Joe Douglas obliged him. And if he wants, David Bakhtiari, if you can get up to your first and second next year, then I think you can do that.
But now you're hurting Jordan Love.
Because you're building for the future. And if Jordan Love, you're convinced that Jordan Love is there, you don't want to have a 31-year-old guy that's the second highest paid left tackle who hasn't been healthy. But listen, the Packers haven't been getting their money's worth the last couple of years from David because he hasn't been available. So if you can dump a guy that's often injured, you don't get more healthy as you get older.
I just want to bring everyone's attention to something that happened a little earlier in the program by recreating it against my better judgment. Hey, Bill Barnwell, where do you expect the Jets to finish in the AFC East this year?
We're having a good moment, Greeny.
Goes off the rails here. The Jets are going to finish last in the AFC East. We know this is going to happen. This is the Jets. Bart, I realize you were on the Jets when they were good.
He said, Bart, I realized you were on the Jets 600 years ago, the last time.
Who am I, Moses?
Let the man talk. Why do you believe they're going to finish last?
The offensive line is a concern. The defense, which was great last year, no question. It was the healthiest defense in football last year. They're not going to be as healthy in 2023. Their offensive coordinator just got ran out of the building as the head coach in the Broncos. He's never been a good play caller anywhere.
You think Aaron Rodgers is a play caller?
Bill, let's go over this because I'm trying to understand what your math is. How you keep telling me 1 + 1 = 10. I can't ride with that. You're telling me a 7-9 team.
Yep.
7-10, but okay, they play
7-10 team. Goes out and gets a 4-time MVP. That was an MVP less than 18 months ago.
No question.
Right? Go out and get a 4-time, Pro Bowl running back. They have the reigning offensive and defensive player of the year.
Rookies of the year, yeah.
They go out and they make a bigger strength by going out and adding. How does McDonald look so far in preseason?
He looks great.
Okay, so you talk about sustaining injuries. They go 10 deep at pass rusher,
No
right?
question.
So you mean to tell me that you believe that team will finish last?
Bart, who's going to finish last in the AFC East?
What do you mean? New England.
New
What
England.
the hell you
The
mean?
Patriots, who managed to win 9 games
Okay.
and be annoying every single year, are going to be last. They didn't make any.
So who
additions
has the
this
worst
offseason.
quarterback in the division?
Patriots do.
Okay.
No question.
Okay. Who has the worst skill position players
yeah.
in the division?
The Patriots do.
Say it,
The
Bill.
fact
Say
that
it,
you
Bill.
got to think of
Probably.
that lets me know that you put some Shinola in that drink before you got in here. We get to have that tested
Okay,
forensically.
the fight has continued all morning long, and candidly, I'm here for it. So Jalen Hurts was, I think, you can make an argument he was the story of the NFL last year. This is a young man of whom not that much was expected when he came into the league, and we went into last season wondering if he was going to solidify the job. Now we go into this season wondering if he's the most valuable player in football. Do you expect that ascension to continue and the Eagles to stay where they've been?
I don't, Greeny, and I think it's because of what's around Jalen Hurts, which is going to be more injured and less talented than it was a year ago. Eagles are one of the least injury-prone teams in football last year. They lost 5 starters on the defensive side of the ball. And on offense, the wide receivers were healthy, the running backs were healthy. Dallas Goedert did miss 5 games, but the offensive line, the core of that team, the thing they invest in year after year, missed a total of just 3 starts all season. So I think Jalen Hurts is going to be just as good, but the pieces around him aren't going to be as important.
Law of averages. And so the question, and this is actually, Harry Douglas brought this up yesterday, came out when I was asking him about Jalen Hurts. He said the next step in Hurts becoming the player that we think he can become is, can he elevate everything else when everything else isn't right? We know Patrick Mahomes, if everything else goes wrong, Mahomes will find a way to do it. Burrow will find a way to do it. Is Hurts ready to be that guy now?
Agreed. When I talk about Jalen Hurts I talked about on the show being disrespected, it's because the comments about him are, oh, but the Eagles, look at their team, it's so loaded. Is it really about Jalen? And I have this argument with people all the time that say, well, I need to see more because last year wasn't enough. Last year was such an extraordinary season. Had he not gotten hurt late, had he not gotten injured late, he could have been MVP. And so when I look at, can Jalen Hurts top what he did last year? To top it, it's to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think the statistical probability is what stops me from saying, of course. But this is a kid I am super high on. I think he's one of the best talents in the NFL, and I think he's got that drive. I think we will see him have to elevate this team.
How about his team, Bart? Are the Eagles, in your view, the team to beat for the NFC Championship again?
They're in the CFL. They're in the JV league. If we talked about the top 10
That's so
teams
terrible.
in all of football, 8 of them would be in the AFC.
Yes.
So he has an easier path. And if he gets there, he's probably going to go against the San Francisco 49ers, who we don't know who's going to be their quarterback. Trey Lance or
Brock Purdy is gonna be their
or
quarterback.
is it the return of the Marlboro Man and Sam Darnold, right? So this is the thing. His path is so much easier. You talk about all the weapons that he lost. But let's keep it real. Harry Roseman has been Executive of the Year, should win Executive of the Year for the last 3 years. Okay, I lose Hargrave. Okay, I'll go get a guy that dropped in the draft in Jalen Carter. Okay, I lost my tackling machine. But guess what? He got Nakobe Dean. And where would Nakobe Dean have been if he didn't have the shoulder injury? He would have been a first-round draft pick. He got him at third-round value. And then he gets Nolan Smith, already to add to a team that led the league in sacks. He has 2 lockdown corners. So they got better and they got cheaper, which is what all great general managers wish for. So can he be better? Yes. Does that mean that they win a championship? I don't know. But you can't tell me a team in the NFC that has a better role, who can sustain injuries at a position here or there, because their team is so loaded because of what their general manager has done over the last 3 years.
I would lean towards the Cowboys as being a team that has enough around them.
He's trolling you because he wore that suit. He knew it.
Yes,
He was going
exactly.
to come in here wearing
Go.
the
Why?
suit.
Give me the case for Dallas.
Because the Cowboys got better this offseason when the Eagles got worse. They brought in Stephon Gilmore. They brought in Brandon Cooks.
Okay.
Now, I'm guessing the Eagles made plenty of smart decisions.
Bill.
Sure.
What player would you take off of Philadelphia outside of Michael Parsons and add to Philadelphia?
I would add CeeDee Lamb. I would add Zach.
CeeDee Lamb over AJ Brown. Man, you don't really believe that. Okay, let's go. So you're gonna take Brandon Cooks, who's been on 25 teams, over Devontae Smith.
No, I take Devontae Smith over Brandon Cooks.
They've got a lot of good players. They've got Trayvon Diggs. They've got Zach Martin.
Tony Pollard.
You taking Trayvon Diggs over Big Play Slay? No.
They say it's 32.
Okay, how old was Gilmore? That dude, oh, he getting AARP cards.
Look,
I thought you were coming to restore order,
You're
Bart. Now it's just
43.
chaos.
We're all getting AARP cards.
Yeah, he was in high school with me.
Okay, so we got the Eagles are the favorites to win that division. We'll see what winds up happening. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.